Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of That's Haute Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Tam, and we are here with my host, my favorite person, Christian Garza.
Hello.
Okay, today we are going to talk about trend cycles. And when discussing trend cycles, we're going to have to discuss the insidious nature of capitalism and what fast fashion has done to all of us. Because as much as I understand the data, done the research, watched the documentaries, I too am a victim of a cheap, cute outfit. So here we are. Christian, what are your thoughts on this?
Oh my gosh. It's like a bright spot just knowing that vintage is back in.
Oh,
And
true.
yeah, and so like all of the thrift shopping, which is also, so it's exciting because it's become more in fashion. People are like going to thrift stores. I feel like there was a lot of maybe it's whenever we grew up because we're a little bit older, but it's just like thrift stores for a long time. It was like, oh, you couldn't afford anything. It was looked down upon. It was like frowned upon. But now thrifting is so chic. And also there's like a breadth of like luxury. Enough people have died in the world that their collections are in the thrift stores. Like a couple of weeks ago I found this like really nice Brioni like blazer. I know it costs more than $1,200, but um with that, I think you mentioned it on a previous episode that because, fast fashion is so insidious, people just wear the thing one or two times, get tired of it, or it's out of season. And then we'll see the Brioni blazer or grandpa's jacket with little Emily's, crop top from Shein.
I have always been a thrifter. I think because my grandma, God bless her, she is addicted to thrift shopping. She will buy anything at the thrift store, and she's always going to check the thrift store first. If you ask her for something, I learned that when I was a kid. Like I asked her for a power wheel, and I end up at the thrift store in a runoff with some other children, because they had some power wheels at the thrift store. Like, my goodness, Thelma, come on now, girl.
Oh my
But
gosh, I love it.
yeah, so I would always be in there because of her and because I like fashion. If anything was like designer or had a similar silhouette or shape to something that was expensive, I would like look into it or I would try to get it. But as you said, it was very much so frowned upon. I think kind of end of high school when the whole jet rags thing got popular in LA and Buffalo Exchange and people started to get more interested in the idea of designer vintage. Like I even worked at a designer vintage store in College Women's Trash. So, yeah, I think it was more so of a way like that broke the barrier for people, in my opinion. Like, you couldn't afford the Chanel tweed or the Brioni blazer or whatever it is that you wanted, but you found it secondhand or something, and like that is okay, that's a flex. Like, there's a huge percentage of girls that are out with Birkin bags that are secondhand Birkin bags because everybody's not on that list. Everybody's not playing that customer game at Hermes to get the bag. So it's like, vintage and re-wearing things pre-loved is very much in style now. I don't think it's ever going to stop.
No. And isn't it like a whole thing because the Kardashians go about like selling their items after the fact? I feel like I've seen that.
Yes, they do. And I think this is like some Kim history that she used to make her money by asking her dad to buy her things, wearing them a couple of times, and then selling it on eBay to get more stuff. Allegedly, well, I guess it's not alleged because she actually got sued for it. Even when she was styling Brandy, while she, I guess, I don't know, maybe that's how she met Ray J, whatever, but she used to be Brandy's stylist, and she got caught, her and her sisters, stealing over $100,000 worth of things running it up on that credit card, and that probably ended up on eBay too. So,
I just only recently heard about this. Did it like just come out of the news or
no,
I just heard
but
about
they,
this?
yeah, they
That's so
run
crazy.
the internet and stuff and PR, so they're not just gonna have that story everywhere. But yes, Kim was definitely reselling her items.
Speaking of also I guess he's not
Oh, and they
really
all
R&B
have current
stuff.
eBay shops right now too. Like they sell
What?
their outfits. Yes, so like it's Kylie's Closet. All they sell their stuff. So yeah, if you want to wear some Kardashian lore, you can go get yourself something.
Gross. And then I got blocked off of Depop because they claimed that my Chanel brooches were all fake. So I have to deal with that, but they're not fake.
And Depop annoyed me so bad. I sold like uh what was it? A Christian Dior track jacket that I got thrifting. Yeah, it was men's, so it was way too big, baggy for me. And it gave me like a Tony Soprano vibe. Like I know that the man that wore this probably shot somebody, killed somebody. So I didn't want to wear it. And I sold it on Depop. And it took months to get through customs to this person. I think they lived in Germany or something. He thought I was scamming him. I was kept sending him pictures like, I promise you, I do not have the jacket anymore. Whatever's going on in your country, your business. I'm sorry. And then I also
Gosh.
sold some Gucci mules after a bajillion questions from those Depop kids. It just made me never ever want to sell anything else on there. So I did away with it. So if you want to use
Yeah.
my Depop account, Christian, you're welcome to it. Because I hate those kids on Depop.
Okay. Yes, the worst. Maybe I'll just go back to eBay. But anyway, yes. So trend cycles, um, we all know that they just way too quickly. And so like,
Hmm.
this month we'll be into like the early 2000s revival, and then next week we're gonna be into like the early aughts. Whereas previously, you know, trends went so much slower. It would be like, oh yeah, maybe like when we were in high school. Well, I was in high school, but like the bell bottoms made a return. Um, Now it's just like we're running out of decades. So like I wonder what's gonna go, so there was the whole thing with like beauty trends where they were remarketing things, whereas like what was it? The blueberry lip or the glazed lip or eye or donut, something, I don't know. They're just like and then a lot of the time because they're like poaching like minority trends. So things that were popular within like the cholas or the black girls. They're like remarketing it as like there's a big revolution for like, or it's a sanitized version for like the white people, the masses.
It's so crazy how trends really work. I'm glad that again, I grew up, mostly around women, and my mom used to tell me like, if you buy something expensive or you buy something nice, don't throw it away because every 10 years things come back in style. And it was like when I was in high school, you said bell bottoms in Texas, in LA, it was like 80s. Like you wanted to wear a rope chain and bright color skinny jeans, and you were dressing like the new boys.
Man, you're a jerk. I'm a jerk. You ain't never lied, but hey, do me a favor, call me jerk one more time. You're a jerk. I know. You're a jerk. I know.
And the jerking movement, we'll put some pictures in for you to see that. A very dark time, fashion time. I wore silver pants. I wore zebra print. I wore Technicolor mismatched shoes, the whole thing. It was very much 80s. So now it's interesting being older and seeing like, oh, the 90s is back. Like the style that maybe you and I wanted to wear when we were kids, dressing like Aaliyah, crop tops, baggy jeans, cartoon looking tennis shoes, big tennis shoes. But I think, like you said, trend cycles go way faster now because of social media. When we were younger, it was more so celebrity culture, like magazine, tabloid stuff, maybe what you saw on TV, and then the trickle down effect of that. So like Juicy Couture was super popular, and then all the girls, upper middle class, we all get the bracelets and we get the charms, blah blah. And then we can afford essentially because we have our parents' disposable income to move on to the next trend in a couple of months or maybe next year when that's not cool anymore. Now it seems like it's on the month to month basis or the week to week basis. Like I said, Tony Soprano earlier, it was a whole thing on TikTok, and they don't even realize that it's marketing and like companies putting the trends out there just to sell them stuff because it was the 30th anniversary or something of The Sopranos. And then it was like mob wife aesthetic was all over TikTok everywhere. And like you said, it was just repurposing Italian girls, how they dress and their style, how they do their hair, their nails, everything. And it's just like sanitized which is sad because Italian girls are white girls too. But
Yeah.
it's, what would it be called? Like a cultural, I don't know.
Like an ethnic,
I don't want to say like a word that's not the correct word to say, but like a subculture of
okay.
whiteness. There you
Yes.
go. That's
Okay.
like cooler than just wearing polo and dressing like you want to play golf.
Mhm.
Over the top kind of glamour. And then it was like the clean girl aesthetic. And then old
Yeah.
money. When Sophia Richie was getting married, it was all about the old money and the quiet luxury.
Oh, right. Quite a luxury because that Succession was such a big hit, and
Hmm.
um it's like all too much. Also, so it's insidious from so many different like points, because like from fashion that just like companies like Zara, which are like vertically integrated, they can get on a cycle so quickly and have something from design to store in so, like weeks. Whereas previously, like when we were growing up, they were calling up the factory or faxing them the things, the designs, and it would take, months to get everything. Whereas now everything, especially because the internet is so quick, um, I don't know. I feel like the internet is definitely like to play at this because social media, um, the designs, the influencers pushing brand new things because it's all capitalism. Um, it's funny because I feel like we talk about that quite a bit. So maybe we should like meander our podcast to like talking shit about capitalism and how it's like awful for us because like all they're doing is pushing stuff down our throats because they just want the wheel to turn. They need profits need to keep going up. People need to keep purchasing things. That's why our trends are constantly like, we need a new trend. What's next week? The sales were low this week.
And it's like the shareholders always want more. They're insatiable, baby. They
Yeah.
want to gobble up everything. And what's
Yeah.
even worse about it, because like I used to have to work with that sort of thing, like unearned income. And it's like the people that survive off that, the wealthier class of Americans, they are so callous about how they even talk about it. Like this stock is not performing and blah, blah, blah. They could care less about all of the effects that cause that. It's just their bottom line and their money, even to the point where recently I heard, I forgot what company, but the stockholders were speaking out about how dare you give the employees a raise before you give us one, like, oh, the people that work here. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry about that. But on the topic of trend cycles and how they can move faster because of the internet and things like that and vertical integration, definitely. I find the same thing with the even lower scale company like Fashion Nova, which is
Mm.
located in, I think, Montebello, California, which definitely is outsourcing at this point, but that's where they originate from. Starts as a simple store in the mall, in the Montebello Mall, which is not even the most popular place to be. But because of social media, they can gain this critical mass and they can market themselves in a way with like hot girls that these are not the same clothes that you would get from the swap meet or from Rainbow, which they literally have the same vendors. Like Rainbow has posted side by sides on Twitter, all types of stuff. And even selling it at a markup because they were able to garner this fan base with these influencers. And then because they are also vertically integrated and it's downtown Los Angeles and they can turn over stuff quickly, they got to the point where Kim Kardashian was posting an outfit and like within a couple hours, they were posting up their version of it, like, oh, it'll be available. Coming soon, pre-order it right now.
Oh, I totally forgot about that. Yes.
Yes, when Kanye was making her those custom outfits and the Fashion Nova was like, scene done. Okay, click on the link right now. We got it right now.
The whole like see now, buy now thing
Yet on the
used
next
against them.
level
Yes.
of See Now by Now. And it's so crazy because if we want to go even further back in time, like my grandma's time, maybe in the 60s, mid 60s, in the movie, I don't know what. Dang, that makes me mad. It might be a new kind of love or something where they're in Paris and the lady, it's her job to take pictures of the clothes that they see on the runway and in the shops or whatever so they can copy them and make them back in New York and sell them. And the scene is so crazy. It's like a cattle call, all these American women outside and they open the doors and they're like running there and they're fighting over the dresses. But juxtaposition to Paris where it was all classy and they were like seated in this little ballroom and the dresses were going by and she has this tiny camera she's trying to take pictures.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, it's been going on forever. It's just the trend
Yeah.
cycle is more vicious now, and it contributes so much waste to the world, right? Weird fashion is one of the number one global warming causes, right?
Hmm. Oh yeah.
Or one of the top ones.
It totally, especially because I don't think there's not the association of what a lot of the fabric is. There's a book actually, so in a future podcast, we're going to be talking about the dangers of fashion and how it might be killing us. There's that not the association that a lot of the fibers that we're using now in fashion, whether it be the moisture wicking or high performance fabrics, a lot of them are just petroleum, which is gas, and we get that from the earth. And so, like, what are we running out of? So, like, we're fracking. It's waste because of the fabric, which ends up in landfills. It's in other countries because if it ends up in a thrift store and, us down the street, we don't want it. They sell it in bulk to India, and a lot of the times they don't even sell it. Like sometimes we use them as a dumping ground.
Yes,
Yeah.
we export so much or like give away so much vintage, old, like stuff that we don't want, excess clothing to other countries that certain countries in Africa have outlawed it. I think they call it Matumba out there. And the crazier part is because I come from like a super religious family, I vividly remember growing up in churches and organizations like begging you to donate your clothes and all this stuff to Africa, right? We're going to save a child in Africa. And then I go, and these people are selling it on the streets. Like our used clothing, our vintage stuff, your old beat up Adidas shirt, your Puma shirt is getting sold on the street out there. They're not giving it to nobody. And because of that, the governments of the country decided, oh, this is ruining our infrastructure, like with manufacturing clothing and all of that. It completely depletes our industry to where people don't even want to do it because we're getting free clothes dumped here by the literal ton. So they
Mm.
outlawed it, like, no, we can't do anything with this anymore. You would think that a country that is like, what do they call China, the manufacturer of the world, would figure out a way to turn those old clothes into some type of cheap material to like make new stuff. But instead, I guess they use gas and fabric that has lead in it, all this crazy shit. If you've ever ordered something off of like a super cheap site, Shein, Temu, something like that, and you get it, the smell is so dramatic sometimes. Like, what? What went on here? What is this? It makes you question everything. So it's like, are the clothes, oh, we're going to read the book, so we can't talk about it, but it's like, are we going to
Yeah.
get to the point where the clothes are causing us physical harm, giving us rashes, giving us internal issues? Please.
So don't forget to subscribe because we will definitely be talking about that in a future podcast.
Yes. Oh, disgusting. I don't know how could you imagine going out on the town? You were shopping, you saved up your little money. Maybe you had a part-time job. You bought a cute glitter dress or something and you wore that shit out and you come home and you got a rash or you
Hmm.
have some type of allergic reaction.
Well, and it's not even just what we associate with just being like the lower end, like a rainbow or whatever, Dee Dee's fashion or something. I don't know, random. But also we know that in luxury, they're raising the prices, but they're also lowering the quality. So we have to worry about the quality of the fabric and everything at all like price points.
And this, I'm no Stella McCartney basher, you know? She's all right. But this also kind of makes me annoyed that we let the whole environmental argument be skewed to make us accept fake clothes. Like, oh, we're gonna do vegan leather and we're gonna do this and that. Like, oh, because it's cheaper or it's better for the. Is it though? Like, if
Mm.
you're making this leather out of cactus or something, I've seen a bunch of stuff
Oh,
online with
totally. Yeah.
technology. That's different. But if you're making this out of just other man-made products under the guise of this being safer because you're not killing cows because you personally have a thing for a cow, it makes no sense.
Hmm. Right. Because the whole point of it was to also, for the animal's sake, but also the like feces and everything, to get too descriptive. But that also contributes a lot to our, what is that? Greenhouse effect, is it?
Yes.
Okay. So
Hmm.
then if we're not using like natural fibers and animals' skins, then you're using then petroleum, like you're just hitting at a different direction.
Yeah, you're just ruining the environment in a different way, in a new way.
Right.
It doesn't make
Right.
sense.
Plus, I
And
also wonder if she took the jet to get to the Met Gala. So, yeah,
please, girl, we know you did not walk. We know you didn't ride a horse. We know you
yeah,
didn't fly commercial either.
yeah.
Have mercy.
Maybe she took the
As a black,
Titanic.
oh my God. As a black person, though, the fashion argument sometimes gets to me maybe in a different way because my ancestors are slaves, right? Verifiable. It's not conjecture. And I know that at some point they were forced to pick cotton. Like my grandma used to pick cotton when she was a kid in California. So it's not even that far removed, right? And we know that that was largely used to boost the clothing manufacturing, all that. Marie Antoinette invented the new dress and these different things. People want to dress differently. It's like, okay, we were enslaved to make this go. King Cotton, which America's wealth was built on that for the longest time. Now, in other countries, marginalized people are being slaved in sweatshop type environments. I've seen obscene things on the internet. You locking people uh in warehouses. You're not giving people breaks. People can't use the bathroom. People are basically getting kidnapped from the village, being brought to the factory, never going home, never getting no money, living
Wait,
in fake college dorm environments.
are you talking about factories in third world countries or Amazon factories here?
Both. Okay, because
Okay.
it's crazy. It's crazy. And you can verify both because I've seen the Amazon workers inside peeing in bottles and stuff on YouTube. Dramatic.
Mm.
But sometimes it makes you think, and of course, what can we do about it? We're in America. I'm not trying to say, like I'm perfect. I'm saying I'm aware of the issues, but I'm not perfect. I will still buy a cheap outfit to go out or something. But it's like it does make you think when you're in the mall or when you're shopping or when you see something that's just dirt cheap, like a full two-piece set for $15 and you bought fabric before and you understand how all of that costs. You can't be paying these people. And it's just like, damn, how much percent of the world is being enslaved currently for you to shop on Shein? Do you ever think about that? Does it keep you up at night? I don't know.
Also, just another thing that we are losing because of fast fashion, everything, but we're losing like artisanal like methods of making things, whether it be like the embroidery that we associate with like in India or like the intricate lace works. I saw something the other day, I sent it to you on TikTok, and just like it was saying that our like new games are well like lace work was like the equivalent to our video games of the time because she was just like this elderly
Mhm.
lady spinning the thing, twisting things to create this like intricate lace. Um, but we don't have time for that now. Yeah, which is sad.
I think that those kind of things became a premium, and
Mhm.
it's like to the point, especially because of our last episode, we talked about the casualization of society. It became a thing of, well, where would you even wear that? And why is it necessary to have this intricate lace on your outfit or blah, blah, blah? So then a lot of things I feel like maybe were normal in, again, our grandparents' times, and even our great grandparents' times specifically, like most definitely normal back then, became elements of couture, which is kind of sad. Like now, when you see an excellently tailored outfit, it stands out in the crowd. You're like, oh my God, that looks so expensive. Oh, when that used to be the standard, like regular people,
Right.
a regular working man could have a tailored suit. It's, I don't know, like ready to wear maybe really kind of ruin things.
Yeah, I feel like that was well the Industrial Revolution also. But yes,
Hmm.
definitely just moving
Hmm.
quicker.
So sad. Okay. To close this out, I would like to discuss maybe we can give our four hate trends, like the worst trends of our lifetime that we do not like at all, and
Mhm.
then four that we really, really liked. And we can put pictures in, it'll look fun. So let's do it. You want to do hate first or love first?
Let's do one of each. Like, okay, so let's do one love.
Okay. So a trend that I love always will be what I'm wearing now. Victoria Beckham, Posh Spice, a all black look, little black dress.
Chanel.
Yes,
Yes.
very much.
Always in.
Always in a timeless look. If you buy a good quality dress, you can wear it forever and ever. So that's my number one love.
Mine is going to be denim. And so a lot of people don't know that. I don't remember, it was like in the 1920s or something, but when a lot of the denim work of America, you know, kind of like moved abroad or were outsourced because, of course, we're trying to look out for margins. A lot of the old antique machines were purchased and then refurbished in Japan. So all that like Japanese selvage, like the luxury, or not luxury, but the high-end denim, a lot of it's coming from Japan.
Yes, it is. There's a whole thing, especially if you're interested in rap. Rappers always make songs references to Japanese denim. Pharrell really brought that to the forefront for our culture. Shout out to him. So, are we going to do hate now or another
Yeah.
love? Okay,
Hate.
hate. Oh, I hate the super duper like cupcake looking dresses. Don't love it at all. I feel like it's not flattering for anybody. It almost never looks good unless you're a baby. I don't understand why it always comes
Are
back
you
in
talking about
style.
like the Ariana Grande dresses? Like
But
short and
yes,
okay. Okay. Yeah,
don't
only a
like it.
specific body type can wear that and look flattering. And then all at that point, you feel like maybe they're trying to go for that whole like, is it Pollyanna? What is that reference?
Baby doll look.
Yeah, going for that like, no. Mm-mm.
Don't love it.
I don't know. I think there's an aspect to everything that I would potentially like, but a lot of what I most recently hated was logomania. So like everything having a logo. So like you're a walking billboard for brands. Yeah.
hmm Sad.
Hmm.
Okay. A trend
Another
that
love.
I love, a trend that I love and will always love
Hmm.
is the tight top, baggy bottom look.
Mm,
And there's different ways to do it. I feel like you can definitely be on trend depending on the times, like how you do it. Sometimes it's a bigger pant, sometimes it could be a bigger skirt, and sometimes it could be a little bit cropped, like midriff out. Sometimes it could be like longer, tucked in, but just a little baggy. You got to play with your proportions
exactly. I was
depending on
gonna
your
go,
body type.
right.
Yeah. I feel
That's
like it
totally, and
always looks
it's
chic.
that's even just like a design principle, proportion. Just so like that's also another like classic. Excellent. Love. Hmm. I think mine is more like abstract, but it would be personal style instead of trend. So like go out and express yourself however it is you express yourself, but don't do it just because it is currently in style. I feel like you look your best when you feel your best, and if you're dressing for your body type or whatever, you're gonna feel more confident and well, like all, so like we'll take a trend for like crop tops. That's really in right now for a bin, which is cute. Ooh, actually, I kind of want to change my love, but I'm gonna say
You
a
need
second
two more
love.
loves so you can keep it.
Do I? Okay, well, I'm like,
Yeah.
then great. We'll go with that one for my love
For your love. Okay, so
style.
my third love is I already said all black look. I already oh, this really kind of disappoints me for myself, but I am who I am, and you cannot decide your cultural influences, right? And how they affect your fashion input. So I think because I'm American, but specifically Californian, a army fatigue I feel like if you style it correctly, will always be a look. Now, if you're gonna do pants, like cargo type of pants, if you're gonna do the jacket, I would never recommend you do it all at once because it's given wartime. But if
Okay.
you want to be a patriot, go ahead. You're gonna look like Juvenile. You're gonna look like, I don't know, you're gonna look like Dipset. But a cargo, and I've seen like a girl wear cut some army fatigues into like a little mini skirt. I've seen them people make jorts out of them, which I'm not a fan of the jorts, but I'm saying style correctly, army fatigue, California, you're always gonna look cool, laid back vibe. I did not notice how uniquely American that was until I was abroad and I was wearing it. And I'm like, why am I wearing the costume of imperialism over here? Like, take this shit off. You look stupid. You're not at Venice Beach. Pull it together.
Yes. And this was your love, right?
Yes, this is my third love.
It's supposed to be your hate. It was supposed to be hate.
Oh, I'm
It's okay.
sorry.
We're out of order. We have so much love. It's fine.
Yes. You want me to
Um,
do my hate?
yeah, dear hate, your last hate.
Okay.
Yes.
My last hate is over sexual looks. I don't mind a sexy outfit. I live for it, especially as a Christian private school girl. I want you to have it out. I want you to be on the edge of like hoochie, but don't go over into street walker. What did the dad say on Easy A?
Not to mention how you've been dressing the last few days. No judgment, but you kind of look like a stripper.
Mom!
A high-end stripper for governors or athletes, but stripper nonetheless.
Oh,
A high end
Yes, a high
escort.
end.
Yes.
That's what you want to go for. I don't want to see you ladies out in the wrestling outfits, the full body suits. You're already in a bodysuit, and then it's got holes in the bodysuit. Or you're already in a fishnet dress, and then you only have pasties on. You don't even have the courtesy to wear a bra. Or you have a thong on and don't even have the courtesy to wear a granny panty to cover some things when you have it out like this. And then if a person approached you trying to, purchase some work, purchase some favors, you will be annoyed. You will be so pissed.
Yes.
If a man grinds on you or something in the club and you already have your cheeks out, is it harassment or did you invite this behavior? And I'm not a victim blamer, but I'm just saying, lady, there are lines, there are limits. Please don't let Instagram get you fucked up out here.
Yes.
Bitches trying to get kidnapped.
Oh, I know what my last hate will be. I'll get to that before I get to my last love. But dressing for your body type. I know, obviously we're embracing all kinds of bodies and people have different health issues. I have my own like things with weight, but leave something to the imagination. So it kind of piggybacks off yours. And some folds aren't meant to be seen by people. Yeah.
Please put that on a shirt. Put that on a napkin.
Yes. So yeah, like we're body positive, but also let's have some tact. Yeah.
Yes, let's be respectful.
And then my last love, it'll be whether it be like I feel like whenever we were growing up, maybe like whenever we were in high school or college, but the whole like boho, like think of Nicole Richie, with the long
Mhm.
overflowing things, but even further back, back in the 70s with that whole like Woodstock, flowy, very pretty.
Rachel
Yes. Think
Zoe.
Chloe girl, like a Chloe girl.
Yes, Phoebe Philo. I
Yeah.
love that. I love that
Yes.
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Everybody, thank you so much for watching this week's episode of That's Hot Podcast. We appreciate it so much. Please don't forget to subscribe, follow us on Spotify, subscribe on YouTube, follow us on all the social medias. Tanzanite, House of Christian. Prepare for the book club. Are we going to drop like the reading list, our summer reading list?
Um, it has probably already officially begun, so we'll start it today. We'll post it. We are reading Dior by Dior, right? Yeah.
Yes, yes. Prepare yourselves for the greatness that
And I
is
already
Christian
have it.
Dior.
Yes, I
Ooh,
already have the book. We're
nice.
ready. We're ready. So let's get started.
Yes, and we went to the exhibit, so we have in detail, eyes on the couture, stories to tell.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see y'all next time. Bye.
Bye.